Good morning, everybody. This is Farooq Rashid from TimeLog. We are starting the TimeLog webinar about the latest improvement in our product. So I hope you sit back and enjoy this webinar. Let's just head on to the first slide. The topic for today will be a lot of the new improvements that we have done in the system, and also a bit about those improvements that will be upcoming in the next few months. We have made TimeLog, and this version that we made, which is the latest, will actually be the last version. There will not be any other new version of TimeLog. But what we're going to do is that we have made a solid platform for continuously creating improvements. So what we can do is now that we can make a lot of things in the system without having you to upgrade to another version of TimeLog. If you have any questions during this webinar, please send the questions in the chat box. If you look on your screen, you can see there is a chat on the right side or left side, depending on where you set it. We'll keep track of the questions and answer them during or after the presentation. If you do not come around all your questions at the end, we will send an email with an answer afterwards. The webinar will be recorded, so after the webinar has been completed, you will receive a link to view the video afterwards. So let's just go into the session. So what we are going to talk about today is news for the system administrator, news in the timesheet, news for the accountant, and what we call expenses flow, news in the tracker for desktop, news, some small news in the project plan, news in the salary management, and last but not least, upcoming features. News for the system administrator. It's about roles in TimeLog. In the old version of TimeLog, you had to do any other changes in the roles, then you had to log out and log in again to reflect the changes. Now, when you do the changes, the things are set in motion immediately, so you don't have to log in and log out. Same goes for reports. So when you go into the role system, you can go in and activate or deactivate a report, and that will be immediately reflected in the user's TimeLog. News in the timesheet. We have made week numbers available in all calendars in the system. So when choosing the time span in timesheet, or when choosing the time span in approved time, or any other calendars, you will see that we have the calendar, we have the week numbers in the calendar. Let me just show you. So I'll just switch to my screen here. Goes here. You should see my TimeLog version, and let's just head into, for instance, the time. Here you go. And if you then click on the time span, you can see the week numbers are here. Same goes if you go to a project. Let's just get a project, and I go to this start date, you can see you have the calendar and you have the week numbers here. Then we have this comment box. In the old version of TimeLog, you could press F12 when you needed to open the comment box to enter time into into the timesheet and to enter a comment to what you have registered. So now you can actually do it the same thing with, but you can, let me just show you. You can actually set what shortcut key you want to use uh, for this operation. So if I go to the gear symbol, you can see that create keyboard shortcut for comment field is F12. So if I go out, I press a number, and then on my keyboard, I press F12 like this, and you can see I got the comment field, and I can just write in the comment and leave the field. It will be saved like this. And then again, if I want to revisit the comment, I can just click on the field and click F12 again to see the comment or change it if I want to. Great, let's go on. Then we have made stopwatch for absence codes in our format, which means that if you use the absence codes, so let's just head down to the absence code, they're here, and I want to register time on them, I can actually start the absence code by doing like this. I go here and say vacation, if I can find it, no. We click on absence. I click on this is vacation, and you can see it start to say full or half day, but I can actually say okay, but I want to start the timer. Comment is required. Okay, I put in a comment, and then I can start the timer, and I get an action. So this is really important to remember. It is only those absence code that are set to have hour registration and not half a full days. So let's just change it. Absence, and let's take this one and comment, which was required, and then I can say start. And you can see now my absence is being recorded up here. Let's stop it. Great. And you can see if you go down, then it should be registered like this here. Great. Let's go back. We have made a new compact view in the timesheet. In the old version of TimeLog, some of our customers were happy for the way that the timesheet looked like. And in the new version of TimeLog, we got a little bit more spacing to get the screen to be a little bit more viewable or user-friendly. So if we go back, you change the setting by going to the gear symbol. And if I just go back to the standard view, you can see the difference. The standard view has a lot more spacing. You can see it's structured in another way. So you have the project name and company name, and then you have all the tasks below. In the old version, it was customer, project, and task and subtask. So let's see how that looks. If we go back to the compact view, you go down to default timesheet layout, click compact, go out. And as I said before, changes are done immediately. So I just need to refresh my page and you will see this is how it looks. So you have the project, you have the customer, and then you have the task here. And there's not so much white space or space between each line. So it should be almost like in the old version of TimeLog for those that like this view. News for the accountant. We have done some enhancement in the financial integration. It's possible to transfer the expenses, including pictures, to the financial system. I will come into how the flow is in a moment. Will be also available for other integrations as well when we recode the integration for each of them. But it's where the system allows it. So for instance, if the financial system do not allow transfer of pictures from TimeLog into the system, then of course we cannot make it. But hopefully it will be available for most of the system. Then we have a new report for overviewing the expenses, where you can see both personal and project expenses, or separately. You can choose to see only personal or only project expenses. I will show you that in just a moment. If you have economic, you can contact our consultant to get it set up so you can use this option. The flow is like this. So you have expenses. You can take a picture of the expenses, or you can actually have the picture on your desktop and put it into TimeLog. Then you put in the amount or the details for the expense. You transfer it to, then it will be transferred to TimeLog, and from TimeLog you put it onto the project. Actually, you put it onto the project already in this phase, and then you can transfer the invoice you make out of this into economic. So when you do this, the expenses will actually be transferred. So let me just show you in the system. Go back here. So if I have an expense, I can choose to say new project expense, and then I can use it. I just show you. I search for my project. I've already done my homework a bit, so not to do all the small steps. I go to this project, and I go to the finances and expenses tab, and you can see I have two expenses. If I go to this one, you can see I have put in some picture, and you can see this is a plane ticket. Okay, so to send this expense, I go to transfer expenses to finance system, and I will get to this page, transfer expenses to finance system. I choose the period. Let's just say this year, and then I can say show previously transferred expenses only, and then I can see, okay, this is what has been transferred. I have the options to ignore expenses or show those expenses that are not yet been transferred. So this way I can keep track of which of them I have transferred to my financial system or not. I don't want to bore you with the setup. You can, as I said before, you can contact our consultant if you have economic, and then get the help to set it up. Let's go back to the presentation. News in the tracker for desktop. We can change time, date, and project task. It's possible to add keyboard shortcuts, and we can customize this in the settings menu. We can add more information to the registration window. Notifications will be visible when you have any action in the tracker for desktop. And then you can do a fast entering of the task or starting the task. So you just need to enter the comment, and then the comment field is validated. And how does this work? Let me just show you. Let's just go into this. Is my desktop tracker. And let's just see the shortcuts. If I click on the small symbol here, clicking on settings, you can see there are a couple of settings that I can choose from now. I can see show customer number, project and task number. And then I have all these shortcuts that I can set up as I want to. In the bottom, I have the column picker. I can choose to see the customer number, project number, task number, and it's actually set in motion immediately. So let's just go out, choose one of my tasks from this menu. I just say case handling, like this. And I'll just stop the time for a moment. And you can see right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fields, columns that I can see. And then I go down and choose other columns to show. And you can see the registration. You have the notification here. And if I go back, you can see now all those columns that I chose has been put into the system here. Then I have this option of fast entering tasks. So if I, for instance, take InnoPay here, double click on it, then I start registering time on this. Okay, I can change the task, as I said before. I can go in and say, okay, this was something else. I can change the task. And then I get the search option. Let's say this was monthly meeting. I can go in and put a comment. I can save and start if I want to track time from this point. So let's just say save. I need a comment because I remember if I don't have a comment on this, this will be validated to the system, and I have set it up to have comment as mandatory. So I need to put in a comment. So this is how this is done. Great. And yeah, I'll just close this one. So news in the project plan. There are two things that I want to show you. The first thing is showing long task numbers. If I go back to my project here, I go back to search a project and just take one project here. If I have task numbers, I say save. And you can see you can have the task number viewed here. And actually you can search for the task number. If you stay on it, you can see the full task number in the pop-up menu. Well, these task numbers are actually searchable when you go to register time here. So, well, it doesn't work right now, but it should be possible to search for the task number. Okay. Remember to the open close state of project task, which means that the system remembers how you opened the task here. If I set it like this, okay, and then I go out and I go back to my project again, it will stay in the state that I left the project. So this is the personal thing. So I can actually choose to say, okay, next time I want to go in, if I have a long list of projects, I just wanted to show these things because the first one here is completed and I just want to see all the others. Then I can go out and go back again and it will stay as I set it. Then one thing that I forgot to show, the expenses overview. There are two ways to see the expenses. Let's go back. In the finances in the project, you can see you have a menu called expenses. So clicking on this, I have the expenses. I can register the project expenses directly from the project here. If I want to have another view of all the personal and the project expenses, we've actually created a new report. So let's go to the reports view and expense overview. And here you can see, if I want to see all of them, I have clicked both options here. I say I click on show, and then I get this. Or I can say, okay, I just want to see the personal expenses. Then I click off the show project expenses, click on show. I don't have any project expenses. Sorry, I don't have any personal expenses. And then I can change it around and say show, and then I get the project expenses. This way, I can always look into which of the things that I have in my system. If I want to, if we have the reimbursement done, then it will stay. It will state it here. Also, from this report, you can start a new personal expense, or you can start a new project expense. So we hope that you like this new report. Let's go back. Some small news in the salary management. We have a better overview of the salary time registration per employee. Distinguish between employee changes and system changes. So we have a clear view of is it an employee that has been changing the things in, or is it something that is caused by the system? And then we have better selection fields in the filters for the report. So let's just check it out. Employees and salary management. And that's just the first thing is if I want to search something, I can say, okay, I want to search for the department called USA. I write some letters and then it will show me the department that starts with that. So if I say DIP, it will show me the 3 departments here. So these are new search filters. I just let it stay like this. Same goes here. If I have the employee type, I can just set it up to what I want to. So these are new search filters, and we will be using these search filters in all the new stuff we are making in TimeLog. So it will be easier to search and not to scroll down a long list in the drop downs. Let's just select the salary account, vacation, for instance, a period. Let's just say this year and show. And you can see we have these different things. Here you can see this is posting created by Farouk. And yeah, so we have made more clear who has done the changes in the system. And you have right now you have all the employees in the system. And here, for instance, there is something created by Semi, who has put in 185 days as a manual adjustment, and you can see the balance here. To the upcoming features, there are some really cool stuff, and I will also tell you where you can find these things. So let's just jump into it. First of all, I will mention the single sign-on SSO for Microsoft Azure AD. And for those of you that knows it, with single sign-on, passwords are never passed to or stored in TimeLog, but only in your company's access management system, which would be like validated by your Windows system. And additionally, it it will be possible that if you shut down a user in your Microsoft system, then you will actually block the user for using TimeLog. So you don't need to log into Windows and then log into TimeLog, but you can log into Windows and then your password is already validated. However, you will still need to create the user in TimeLog. So we don't have that feature fully developed to be like you create the user in Windows and then it will automatically be created in TimeLog, because we have to be sure about the licensing and so on. So this is really cool. You can just contact us if you need to have the beta, or else I'll just go on to the next item. Intercompany analysis report. Intercompany analysis report is a new report we are developing, and it shows it analyzes the transaction of hours, revenue, and cost between departments and legal entities in the company. Next thing. Adjustment of work in progress. We will be creating a new page where it will be possible to adjust the work in progress balance by adding adjustments either on the invoicing side or on the booked as revenue side of the calculation. It will be working similarly to our salary management, and it will be possible to see, edit, and make adjustment to the work in progress across projects. Next thing. We'll be completing the multi-legal entity module in the upcoming months. So I will just show you where you will be able to see more about this. Well, we are working really hard to complete this. Travel expenses on mobile and desktop version of TimeLog will also be in a couple of months. Will be coming out, and then it will be possible to register the travel expenses on the mobile phone or on the TimeLog tracker for desktop. Then we have some improvements to our Fort Knox integration, which is actually special for our Swedish customers. So it will be a better integration. We will be able to transfer project numbers to Fort Knox. It will be possible to import expenses entered in Fort Knox to TimeLog to get the full cost overview of projects. And of course, export expenses entered in TimeLog and able to import them into Fort Knox. So it's gonna be a both-way integration. So where can I find all these upcoming features? You can go to our help site. So let me just show you that on the screen like this. So if you're in the product, you can go up in the top, click on help. You'll be taken to our help site, and then click on FAQ and releases. And here you have release notes. So let's just click on that. And you can see on this side, you can see the latest release notes. You have the old release notes here. And you can see this is also a new one, which is under development. Clicking here, and you will have all these different new features in TimeLog. So please visit this page from time to time to see what we are doing. We'll be updating this once a week, and there's a lot of cool stuff coming up. So keep eye on this. Great. Let's go back. So just to have a wrap up, We had some news for the system administrator, news in the timesheet, news for account and the expense flow, news in the track for desktop, news in the project plan, news in the salary management, and that was it. I hope you enjoyed this session, and please do not hesitate to write to us if you have any questions. Thanks for listening. Have a nice day.